for now. There's a lot more, but I keep every segment, I try and put in one more person at a time.
Okay, guys, before we get started and before our community guest arrives here so we can bring him in live, I need to say a disclaimer so that I don't get us booted off of this platform. Look, guys, I am not a doctor. This talk is for learning and having fun. Before you change your vitamins or your medicine, you must talk to your own doctor first. Don't stop taking anything just because of what we talk about today. I read that verbatim because I needed to clarify that we were fine on discussing openly what cholesterol medications do for men over 50. And our guest is going to be popping in here. Can you confirm that he's on his way
Yeah,
in?
we're waiting for Daniel to come in. We
So,
had him, like I said, unfortunately, we lost him to the internet.
You guys, we're just doing this raw. You know, we're not practicing this. So this is all happening in real time. So we'll get Daniel on here, but I do want to give some background for you guys on why I'm talking about cholesterol with Daniel. When I originally started wanting to help men over 50, my original goal was to help gym rats. I'm talking about guys who go to the gym, work out, and they look terrific on the outside, but they have problems on the inside. Metabolic disease that a lot of people who work out as hard as they do and look as good as they look are surprisingly getting the same metabolic health problems that men who sit on the couch and watch Netflix and eat chips all day get, meaning things like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, low testosterone, or a problem with belly fat that they can't get rid of. That's not a lot. It's just the little last 2 inches that they can't get rid of. Those are the kinds of things that men who are over.
Hey, hold on. We have Daniel now. Thank you so much. And here he comes. Daniel, thank you for joining us about that. You know, I am like far from a techie. Tell me anything about concrete or construction. I got it down for you, but stuff, it's new. In any event,
no worries.
Welcome, Daniel. You look fantastic.
Thank you to you guys.
Okay, well, here's what I want to say. Before you came on, I read the disclaimer for medical purposes so we don't get kicked off of this platform, so that we can talk openly about cholesterol. And people who are looking are actually seeing you, and you guys are probably looking at a guy who looks terrific, who, by the way, may I say your age, Daniel? Is that okay?
Of course. Yeah.
Daniel is 62 years of age. As a matter of fact, he and I are both 62. So here's what we want to talk about today. I originally wanted to help people like Daniel who were gym rats, who look terrific like he does, but have metabolic disease diagnosed. And why is that? Because I come from a family of athletes. Most of you who may know, my father was a senior Olympian in road bike cycling. My oldest brother was a competitive bodybuilder, and also he is the deadlift champion in his 60s. And what else? He was the gold medalist in Ireland for toughest cop in the world in his early 60s. So a lot of accolades, but still my father and my brother both ended up with the same metabolic disease problems that a lot of my patients had when I was in private practice. So those of you who know me as a previous eye doctor, and I took care of a lot of patients who had type 2 diabetes or cardiovascular disease. My job was to make sure these patients did not go blind. So what would I say when I saw a patient in the chair who had maybe hemorrhaging in the back of the eye, and I knew that they were type 2 diabetic or they had high blood pressure? I would look at them and say, well, you know, if you could lose weight, you diet and exercise, things would be better. Wrong. My family dieted and exercised, but it did not make things better. So that's why I went on this journey to help people like Daniel. But unfortunately, people like Daniel don't come to me for help. You know who came to me? Men who had belly fat that was annoying them. So that was easy for me to help them, because they would have what would look like maybe a 6-month pregnancy belly, and they would have thin legs and
Hold on. Okay. You made me start going down and look. I'm like, hold on, I hope I don't have one of those.
They would have thin arms and thin legs, and some of them would say, you know, I'm skinny fat. Do you know what that means? And I said, yeah, I know exactly what that means. When you're skinny fat, you hold weight around the center of your belly. Okay. Now, center of your belly weight, some people call it a beer belly, but there are people who don't drink a drop of alcohol and still have that belly. It's a very toxic form of fat that causes you to die an early death. And that's why when I started doing this virtual help with men all over the US and other countries, I was helping these guys with the belly fat. And my motto to them was, look, let's drop 2 pant sizes in 6 months or less. But that's what I was selling them. But what was I giving them? Reversal of disease, reversal of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, and we could just go on and on. So the reason I love that Daniel reached out when we made the offer to have somebody come in and for me to help him live for you guys to see is so that we can have this discussion about cholesterol. And he's living proof that somebody who looks as good as he did had a discussion about cholesterol with his doctor. So Daniel, come on in and share with us what cholesterol discussion you have had.
Alrighty. Well, originally I went in for migraine problems. So while discussing that, she wanted to run some other tests just to find out about diabetes and blah, blah, blah. And so when the test came back, she said that everything was fine, except that my cholesterol came up a little high. And I was like, how can that be a little high when I think I eat pretty healthy, clean foods and stuff like that, work out 4 days a week, have an active job.
Wow.
Yeah. 4 days a week, 2 body parts a day. And I've been physically active my whole life. I joined the army after high school. Make a long story short, I've taken Taekwondo overseas and in Germany, and I was a fast runner in the army, and now I'm dedicated to working out 4 days a week. So when she told me that high cholesterol was at risk of having a stroke, I was like, well, I need some help. So she gave me a prescription for something to lower the cholesterol, which I took for 60 days. But guys, I don't like medications. I don't like prescription drugs. I don't like any narcotics. So I got done with the 60 days or the 30 days, whatever. I dropped it. So now then I reached out to Janina because she mentioned that. I said, well, maybe it's my food, what I eat, what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And so here I am trying to deal with it and get some help.
I got to say, I did look at your Facebook profile and looked at your pictures, and man, I'm glad you put that shirt on because you'd make me look bad. And I'm 10 years younger than you. But anyway.
So anyways, if you do want to look at Daniel's profile, he does post a picture of his body down to that belt line, and he looks phenomenal. And this is why it's so critical for you guys to hear it directly from Daniel, who is a person who epitomizes what the medical industry tells you guys to do. But yet the end result is you still end up with quote unquote high cholesterol, where there is a medication being attached to that. So here's what I want to first state. What is the medication you were given? You don't have to tell us, but I'm going to read a laundry list of most common drugs that you might be put on. And these are first the brand names. So for those of you listening, if you've been given a drug called Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor, Pravachol, Lescol, those are the most common, the 5 most common drugs. Now here's the drug name: Atorvastatin, Rosuvastatin, Simvastatin. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you guys get the gist here. Do you hear the word statin at the end of these drugs? Daniel, do you recognize any of those?
I think the first one you mentioned was what was on the bottle. Something statin on it.
Okay. It's more Rosuvastatin or Atorvastatin?
I think it was that Robustatin.
Okay.
That one you mentioned. Yeah.
Perfect. I actually, since I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years now, most of my clients, when they come in, are taking the Rosuvastatin. That seems to be the drug du jour, by the way. And a funny story, as a matter of fact, when it comes to this drug, I ended up getting the Pfizer rep that launched Lipitor 25, 30 years ago as a client. And when he jumped into my program, I thought I was being punked. And that's when I really was shocked, because he says, no, I'm really here because I have health problems. And I said, wait a minute, you're the rep that launched these to all the doctors 25, 30 years ago? He said, yep, that was me. I worked for Pfizer. But anyways, when it comes to that, it just goes to show you even the drug reps still end up with problems with this drug that was quote unquote supposedly to help them. So here's what I want to go through, because you mentioned stroke. Did the doctor go in depth with you what a stroke was so that we understand we're all on the same page about what a stroke is?
She did not.
Okay, so let's go into what a stroke is. The reason people fear having a stroke and why they will go on a statin drug to lower the cholesterol is because there's this cholesterol that they call LDL. L as in Larry, D as in dog, L as in Larry, LDL. That's the cholesterol that they want to give you a drug to lower that lab marker down. So if you go, Daniel, into your blood work, and usually most people nowadays, we doctors had to get onto online 20 some years ago. So everybody listening right now has an online medical portal that you could log into. Am I correct, Daniel, that you could log into my chart?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you guys all homework, because this is something you can physically do yourselves either today after we get off this talk. You're going to log into your portal and you're going to see that number, the LDL. That's the number the doctors are going to chase trying to give you this drug, whether it be a Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor, Rosuvastatin, Atorvastatin, doesn't matter. That drug is supposed to lower the LDL. But here's the problem. Lowering the LDL cholesterol is not the answer to preventing a heart attack or stroke. Here's why. It's going to take, and these are numbers directly from the pharmaceutical companies who created these drugs. It's going to take treating 100 men with that drug for years to save one of those people, one of those men, from having a death due to heart attack or stroke. But what happens to the other 99, Daniel? They all suffer the side effects. And I'm going to run through a list of side effects that are very common with these drugs. Number one side effect that people get when they get put on a statin drug is leg cramps, muscle cramps, and typically within a couple weeks. So let me give you an example. When my father was put on a statin about 2.5 weeks into taking the drug, he's in his room crying out, and I run in and, Dad, what's wrong? He says, got a cramp in my leg. And he was hopping around like a bunny rabbit trying to get the cramp out of his leg. Another client of mine called me and said, hey, I just got put on a statin a month ago, and I don't know if I should keep taking it. And I said, well, look, here's the people that should be taking it. If you've had a heart attack already, or if you've had a stroke already, I recommend, yes, take the drug. If you've had a heart attack or stroke. If you haven't, then maybe you guys should listen in on what we're going to talk about today to make your own decision. And let me read the disclaimer again. I am not your doctor. Don't take this as medical advice. Take this for what it's worth from the conversation.
Yeah, now just for those of you that are joining us now, again, we have a special community guest, Mr. Daniel, here today, and we're here to talk or touch bases on the subject, which is cholesterol and belly fat.
And here's the connection, Daniel, for you, because you work out at the gym 4 days a week. When you're working out at the gym, what is your goal?
To stay healthy, agile, moving, as I get older, and physically fit, not extremely like bulky, but just definition and feeling good.
Okay. In your photo on your Facebook, I saw the muscles. I saw also you have the chest muscles, you've got the biceps. I saw that looking terrific. So I would think one of your goals is to build and keep muscle.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's talk about the fact that he's mentioning he's not a bodybuilder. So let me reel in my family members. My father, he was into Joe Weider. I don't know if you guys know, you go way back, Joe Weider and Jack LaLanne. My brother,
big Jack LaLanne fan.
My brother, he was into Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane, Lou Ferrigno. So my brother wanted to be the bigger bodybuilding, bigger muscle guy. Then he realized he would never compete without drugs, steroids. So being a natural bodybuilder, of course, that was something that he wanted to do. But obviously, in today's world, in order to look like what you see in the magazine, people have to take drugs because it's abnormal for the body to be that way. The reason I bring that up is I heard you say a few things. First of all, you never mentioned muscles in the beginning. You mentioned the mobility and the agility, which is really key because that's what we all need so that we don't fall and break a hip. Because if you're not mobile and agile, you're walking along and you trip.
First thing happens.
Yeah. Yep. What happens? You fall over, maybe you break your teeth or something.
Yep.
But great for you that you want to be mobile and agile. But now let's get to the muscle part because we cannot deny. I haven't had a client yet because I deal with men that are 50 and above. I haven't had one man yet come to me and say he wasn't interested in keeping his muscles. The reason I love these men saying they want to keep their muscles, it is because your muscle, Daniel, is the biggest reservoir for blood sugar. Meaning, when you consume something, let's say you go out and eat dessert, your muscle can take in that blood sugar without the need of insulin. Now, I don't want to get down this path of insulin resistance with you because that's a whole nother topic, but just trust me on this. Your muscles are terrific because they will drink up that excess blood sugar. For those of you out there listening who don't have any muscle, you need to build it, whether that be going to the gym or working out in your yard and moving things around, or if you're female. I don't like to go to the gym, so what do? I like doing housework. I like lifting my groceries. I like doing those simple tasks so I can build and keep muscle. That's important. But here's where the conversation connects with the cholesterol drug. The cholesterol drug is a thief for the muscle building blocks that you need to build your muscles and keep your muscles. So think of it like Legos. When you go to the gym, you want to put one Lego on top of another to make it strong, right? Well, cholesterol medication is a thief to those Lego building blocks, which is going to affect how much muscle you can build and, unfortunately, how much muscle you can keep. So here's one thing that I want you guys that are listening to this right now. I want you to realize that one of the biggest problems for most men is they start losing their butt. The butt muscles and the leg muscles are the biggest muscles you have. When you start having a flat, back there, if you have a flat butt, that is a key sign that you have either insulin resistance or you're taking a statin drug that's causing you to lose that muscle. That's one of the problems with the statin. But let's go a step further. There's also the fact that doctors know that statin drugs lower CoQ10 enzyme. So a lot of doctors who know that will put their patient on a CoQ10 supplement to aid in the loss of that. And why is CoQ10 important for you as a man? It's important for every man, woman, and child because CoQ10 is what gives our cells the ability to create energy. Your entire body is made of cells. Every cell has batteries inside of it. Those batteries are supposed to produce energy. So when a person gets put on a statin drug, they end up starting to have sometimes brain fog and memory loss because of the depletion of the CoQ10. Does that make sense for you as another layer of the problem?
No.
Okay, so let's go through what we're going through here with this drug. When you get put on a statin, you're going to have to be on the statin for the rest of your life. Were you aware of that?
I was not aware, but I definitely did not intend to keep it for the rest of my life. Like I dropped it completely now.
Okay, well, here's the reason why I say the rest of your life. The only way that you'll get off of that drug from the medical industry is when they see that not just your number going down, that when they take you off of the drug, the number doesn't go back up. And here's the problem. That number problem isn't because you lack a statin drug. The reason you have that cholesterol number is because of your lifestyle. So that's what we're going to talk about today to solve your problem without the drug. So in
Sure.
front of everybody in the world, we're going to go through just some simple questions so that we can figure out what quarter-inch turn I need to help you make so that your cholesterol level will get better. But guess what? We're not looking at the LDL cholesterol. That's not the number we need to chase. Here's the true number that we need to chase. Your triglycerides divided by your HDL. Now, if you want to look in your own labs, and we can talk about this next week, we can, but that's the number that I chase for my clients to show that they're not going to have a heart attack or stroke. Now, that is a ratio that the doctors don't do. The numbers are in your labs, though. You can find them and do the ratio yourself, and I can help you with those numbers. But obviously, since we don't have that lab data now, let's just focus on how you eat, when you eat, and what you eat. So let's start off with, today is Saturday, it's 3:27 p.m. We are Pacific Standard Time. What time did you wake up today?
8 o'clock.
Okay, what was the first thing you drank or ate after waking up?
I usually drink 10 ounces of water when I wake up first thing in the morning.
Okay, and then what's the first thing you drank or ate that was something other than water?
So like around 9 o'clock, and you're going to hate me for this, I had some waffles with syrup and a protein shake.
Okay, and what time was that at?
Like around 9 o'clock, I think, after I got done talking with you.
Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning.
9:30.
Where did you get these waffles and protein shake from?
I buy the protein at the pharmacy at Walmart, of course, because it's a whey protein, soy protein. I send you the picture of it.
We're not endorsing it.
Okay. And it's regular frozen waffles from the frozen section at the grocery store.
Okay.
So not homemade.
They're not homemade. Okay, so here's my one statement for everybody. If you ate those waffles homemade, you would already be healthier. And number one, the reason of the preservatives and the chemicals that they're going to put into a frozen waffle in order to make it shelf stable. So here's the important thing for you. And other people may not know this, but you and I had talked earlier that you suffer from migraines. Is that correct? How many migraines do you get a month or a quarter?
I usually get I had one last night, but I get a headache every other day, but a migraine maybe once a week. Depends, like I said, basing on what I noticed that I ate.
Okay, so let's go over this. Number one, a headache every other day. That's a whole nother conversation, but let's stick with the migraine. So once a week you get a migraine, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how debilitating is it? 1 being, okay, it's annoying, or 10, I need to be in a dark room, I'm almost going to vomit, I have to stop my whole day. What?
Yeah, I have to turn the lights down. I'm nauseous. Like the back of my head hurts. I have to keep my eyes are squinty and stuff like that.
So would you call that, what level of migraine? From a 1 to a 10, what level of migraine is that?
Well, for me, that's a 10.
Okay, so here's why I ask you to grade it. I want you to be able to make some changes for yourself, and you are the lab rat in this thing. It's all about you and your feelings and what happens to you. So your level of a 10 now is your marker. What you do moving forward, we're going to try to get you to have a level migraine of maybe an 8. Now, then in the future, maybe a 6 or a 7, down to 0 migraine. Now,
perfect.
Most doctors will tell you, or maybe you can tell me, what did the neurologist tell you that causes your migraine?
Well, first I said it was stress, and also what I'm eating. That was the 2 things that they narrowed it down to.
Okay. Do you know exactly what you're eating that's causing the migraine?
Well, being a single guy, I eat a lot of easy stuff to make, which is sometimes it's frozen stuff. But sometimes I do cook, like I make some spaghetti or chicken Alfredo or, stuff like that. But that's easy though.
Okay, so here's what I'd love to say. I work with only men that are 50 and over. 99% of my men don't cook at all. This is why this is my specialty. I don't expect you to cook, but here's what I do expect you to do. Make better choices. I want you to start reading those packages. And if that package that you're consuming contains more than, I'm going to say, 6 to 10 ingredients, you're looking at migraines happening due to the chemicals in those products.
I believe you.
Yep. So here's the number one chemical for anyone listening. If that product has MSG, monosodium glutamate, it is a trigger for migraines. If you guys have ever had, have you ever heard of accent? You know that accent that you sprinkle on? It's a flavor enhancer. It makes people love the food even more. A lot of manufacturers of processed foods love to stick it in there because they want you to buy that product over and over again. So they want to make it, when it touches your tongue, it hits that part of your brain to say, oh, I love this brand of waffles. First of all, cut MSG out of your diet. If it has it, don't eat that. And by the way, it's not, Daniel, it is not hard to make your own waffles. You know, you've heard of Krusty's, right? Krusty's mix or Aunt Jemima. You'd be better making some waffles. And here's what I would do. My dad loved waffles. The easiest thing I would do, I got the Belgian waffle maker out, and I would end up making an entire box of waffles, one after the other. And then I'd let them get cool. And then I'd put 3 of them in a big plastic Ziploc bag. And he would pull them out of that bag as he needed them, put them in the toaster oven. They weren't homemade, but you know what I mean. That was better than a frozen waffle. Could you do that one thing?
If not me, my daughter makes them all the time, so I can have her make them for me.
Well, see, I did that for my dad. That was my way of helping my father without me having to get up and make waffles in the morning. I just made them all at one time. They store really easy in the freezer if you let them cool off. Now, let's talk about the maple syrup. Tell me the brand that you're using.
Oh, gee whiz. Most of the time it's the regular, what is it called, GV or something from Walmart.
Can you run and go get it, or would that take too long? If not, it's okay.
No.
Run and go get it.
Awesome. Okay. In the meantime, I'd like to welcome you guys back. For those of you just joining us, I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. Today's topic is regarding cholesterol and belly fat. Danielle, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Every Wednesday we're here as well, and Saturdays from now on as well. Let's see, who else can I welcome again here? Victor Dominguez, Tammy Peterson, Patsy Cardenas. Thank you for joining us. We love having you on our show.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Country Kitchen. I want you to turn that label over and read it out loud to us.
Let's see. High fructose, corn syrup water, contains 2% or less of cellulose gum, salt, natural and artificial flavor, caramel color, sodium benzoate, sorbic acid, preservative, sodium hexametaphosphate, mono and diglycerides.
Can you go grab the one out of the fridge right now?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. He's going to go grab the one out of the fridge that I had for my father. And for those of you who know, my father recently passed away. So unfortunately, we miss him a lot, but I still have on the right-hand side, bottom drawer, right there. I have the maple syrup. So this is what I want you to switch to. Now, this is not a brand I'm endorsing. All it is 100% pure organic maple syrup. Now, you can get this anywhere. Costco even has 100% maple syrup. It is going to be a little more costly. This will probably run you 2 to 3 times more than what you paid for that syrup that you have. But here's the benefit of this. Let me read you the ingredients on this one.
Okay.
Organic maple syrup. That's it. That's all that's in here. So what's the difference? This maple syrup will detoxify your body because of the fact that you've been consuming high fructose corn syrup. High
Mhm.
fructose corn syrup is a very, very bad sugar for your liver. Have you ever heard of fatty liver disease?
I think so.
Okay. Fatty liver disease is something that my brother and my father both had, even though they were athletes. And it was because they were consuming high fructose corn syrup or other types of sugars that weren't natural. And where did my brother, the competitive bodybuilder, get the unnatural forms of sugar? From the same place you're getting it, from your protein shakes.
Mhm.
So, yep, your protein shakes, I'm going to say, do they taste good?
Well, of course,
And how did they make them taste good?
but all the artificial stuff they put in them.
And if they didn't put real sugar in them, they put a non-nutritive sweetener in them, didn't they? Like stevia, monk fruit, or hopefully, God, they didn't put sucralose or any of those. Could you go grab your protein shake? Because
I sure
that's
can.
okay. Go get
Yep.
that, and we'll work on that too. Anything you want to do while we wait for him to bring his whey protein?
Oh, just a reminder again, thank you. Because we know we have more and more people keep coming through the channel. Today's topic, cholesterol and belly fat. Topics every Wednesday, 5 p.m. We do our podcast as well. And then we're going to start doing them on Saturdays. I'm here to assist and to help Janina as best as I possibly can.
Yeah, because I can't read comments and do all that. I'm like a monomaniac. I got to focus on Daniel. Okay, whey protein. Daniel, I want you to go take a look at the sugar. Can you see any sugars of any kind in the ingredient label? You can skip all the chemicals. Just go straight for the sugars. Anything that says
It says total sugars 2 grams on the nutrition facts. It says 2 grams total sugar.
Now go to the ingredients.
Okay, whey protein plus blend, whey protein concentrate, whey protein isolate, hydrolyzed whey protein, maltodextrin, soy and or sunflower lecithin,
Hang on.
calcium. Go ahead.
Before you go on, he read the word maltodextrin. For those of you who don't know, that is sugar. Okay? Think of a malt at a malt shop, or the word DEX, dextrose. That's a sugar molecule. Maltodextrin is the first sugar. That sugar, maltodextrin, Daniel, does not have to be quantified on that nutrition label where it says 2 grams of sugar. They don't have to mention it because it's not sugar.
And that's usually that little small square that they trap you into, where it says the first,
They want you to think there's less sugar in there than there really is, because there's over 300 different names for sugar. So continue.
Right. Let's see. Sunflower lecithin, calcium carbonate, natural and artificial flavors, salt, gum blend, gargum, gum acacia, xanthan gum, and that was in parentheses. Ascorbic acid, sucralose, zinc oxide.
Oh, stop. Sucralose. That's the second sugar. There. Continue on.
And then the last part says contains milk and soy ingredients, processed in a facility also processes wheat, egg, tree nut, peanut, sesame, fish, and shellfish ingredients.
Okay, so let's go over the problems with the ingredients in that. It has a lot of gums in it, gums and emulsifiers. Those are for mouthfeel. When you have your protein shake, the protein companies want you to enjoy it like a quote unquote milkshake. But if I had a 5-year-old sitting next to me and I would ask the 5-year-old, little Johnny, can you keep your 6-pack abs while drinking milkshakes? What do you think the 5-year-old would say?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a 5-year-old that's probably used to hearing about chemicals, because they had to come up with a chemical concoction that makes you feel like you're enjoying a milkshake that's sweet, that feels creamy in your mouth, but they did it using chemicals, the acacia gums, the xanthan gum, the carrageenans. All of those emulsifiers are actually bad for your internal gut lining. When we're young, we can handle that. But when we get past 50, it's game over. All of those add to intestinal, how should I say that? More intestinal dysfunction, where you're not going to be able to absorb the nutrients from good, healthy foods that you eat because of those gums, which is, I would rather you build your muscle by eating steak, by eating fish, by eating chicken, by eating eggs, because we shouldn't be avoiding Mother Nature's natural protein sources that are bioavailable in the place of chemicals that are going to create a problem inside of our gut. So if we could change your breakfast to, is it difficult for you to hard boil some eggs and maybe have some hard boiled eggs and some waffles?
No, because I had some boiled eggs last night.
Okay. Well, you notice I'm still letting you eat the waffle, but we're going to make some changes. Rather than having the waffle first, you're going to eat the waffle for dessert. Because let's be real, that's dessert. You're starting your day off with dessert, right?
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yep.
You're also starting it off with liquid sugar in the protein shake. Guess what that's going to do to your body? Chemistry. It's going to spike your insulin. Insulin is the fat storage hormone. That waffle that you have with that protein shake is going to go to fat rather than to muscle. So important, switch that morning routine for your waffles as dessert. Use 100% maple syrup, and you'll be much better off, because that high fructose corn syrup, all of those molecules of sugar go straight to the fatty liver. Whereas the molecules of sugar from 100% maple syrup, only half of that will go to a fatty liver.
Just by making that little quarter turn.
Yep. Would you be willing to make a switch to 100% maple syrup?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, so here's another tip. Do you pour the maple syrup on your waffle, or do you
That's a good one.
dip it? What do you do?
On top.
Okay, stop pouring it, because here's what you're going to do. Your waffle is going to absorb it like a sponge. I guarantee you're going to consume much more sugar when you are pouring this on top.
2 to 3 times more, I think I do. Because
I
it sucks it up and it dries it out. Now you don't want to have a dry waffle or pancake.
Yep. So you're going to have a third, at least maybe 2/3 less sugar if you were to get a separate cup about so big, or, like a little ramekin or something. Pour yourself a couple tablespoons of the maple syrup, or for right now, that other stuff, I want you to throw it away. But if you don't, pour that into the cup, and instead, every bite of waffle, dip a little bit in, and you'll get the mouthfeel with the sensation without it being sucked into the waffle.
So for now, so you can remember, we'll give you a short trick. Take a black marker, put an X line, not an X, but a line through that jar, so that you can just wrap that up, finish that off, and then you'll know not to buy that one again.
Right.
Yep. Are you willing to make that change also with eating real hard-boiled eggs instead of drinking that concoction of protein?
Sure. So this is my question. So because I'm not a bodybuilder, but I take this healthy shakes to feed the muscle after a workout. So I don't want to depend on that, because it's artificial, or it's junk.
It's junk. That's junk. And you know why? Here's the thing that you can look for. Look on there. Is there a label that says NSF certified? N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, F as in Frank. If the NSF certification isn't on there, then here's what's happening. You're not able to confirm what's on that package label is really in there. It has to be third-party tested in order to prove what you're really paying for is actually in that bottle. And here's why. If you open that container, what do you see? A powder, right?
Yeah.
There's no way for you to look in there and go, does that really have all the protein that it says it has? Does it have the vitamins and minerals it says it has? You won't have that guarantee unless it's NSF certified. And here's another problem.
So far, I don't see any NSF on here so far.
And here's how I know it's not NSF certified. Here's the first clue. Any company that makes a protein powder that is NSF certified means it is third-party tested for what's in the bottle is truly in the bottle, and also proven that it's not going to kill you the first time you eat it. Now, it could still kill you after 10 to 15 times, or maybe after 2 or 3 years. But at least with NSF certification, it means you're not going to die from your first dose, and what is in there on the label is really in there. It doesn't mean, though, that it's actually going to build muscle. So let's step now to how do you build muscle? There's a lot of influencers out there that are telling everybody that you need, and you might have heard this, 1 pound for every pound of body weight, how many grams of protein that you need. The calculation comes out so high that you think, oh my God, there's no way I could ever eat that much protein. So therefore, I must have to rely on this protein powder in order to supplement my needs for the day, or else I won't build muscle. But here's what they're not telling you. Those numbers are wrong, first and foremost. They were created by an industry that wants to sell those chemical concoctions to people. Shelf-stable product that makes them a lot of money at your body's expense. And which organ am I most concerned about when it comes to your body? Your liver.
Oh, yeah.
I'm concerned about your liver health in consuming that on a regular basis. And guess what else can hurt your liver? The statin drug that we talked about for lowering cholesterol. Yep, that's a full circle moment here. The liver side effects with a statin drug are a concern, but now you add on to that a protein powder supplement. And if you're like my brother, the competitive bodybuilder, he was drinking 2 or 3 of those a day. How many a day do you consume?
When I work out, twice a day.
Exactly, because he used to do it as a pre or post workout.
Yeah, I do one in the morning with my good breakfast, and I do one after a workout.
The healthy way.
Okay, so here's what the plan is. Here's how you build muscle. And this is the important thing that I do with my clients. I help you guys work with your body the way it was created by God. There's a lot of gears in there that are what we call complicated. So therefore, your body's easy to use. Like nobody had to give you a manual on how to work with your body, right? As a baby, you learned how to walk and eventually run and walk and do everything that you do. So when you're trying to build muscle, you have to realize muscle doesn't get built in the gym. I think you probably know this already. You go to the gym to break down the muscle so that your body will rebuild bigger and stronger. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what happens. Your body's not going to build back muscle until you're asleep at night during the hours of 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning. If you're not asleep in deep sleep during that period of time, muscle building is not going to happen.
And it's not your REM sleep.
Right. It's not the REM sleep. It's not the dream cycle sleep. That happens in the morning. This is happening only when the body's in rebuilding mode. So what time do you go to bed?
Between 10:30 and 11.
Okay. So what you do if you go to bed at 10:30, you've missed out on a half an hour of muscle building. So when you go to the gym, you need to get to bed and start getting ready for bed. And I'm going to call it my 1, 2, 3 rule. 3 hours before bed, no food. 2 hours before bed. Oh, wait. Is there a problem there? Speak up. Go ahead. Tell me.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Well, if I get home at 7 from the gym, I'm going to eat and be done by 8 o'clock. So that's 2 hours before like bedtime.
So why do you go to the gym so late?
After work, I get home at 5. I eat something light. I go. It's just a 45-minute workout, so I'm back before, like between 6:30 and 7.
What time do you go to work?
8 a.m.
I would rather, I'm just telling you, if you really want to build muscle, and if you're willing to make these changes, but anybody who's listening, if you're willing to do what you want to do, you can continue doing that. But here's what I would do. If I were you, I would make sure that you switch your schedule so that you're a morning workout person. And here's why. Your morning workout is going to be much more beneficial than an evening one, because what happens in the evening is your body's supposed to get ready to downshift so that you can rebuild muscle that night. So what happens when you're working out so late and eating so late? The construction crew that's supposed to come in and build your muscles while you're asleep says, well, guess we can't go to work. We got to digest all this food. And it takes 3 hours to digest. So let's do the math. Your last meal before you go to bed is at what time?
7:30.
Okay, let's go to 7 o'clock and be generous, conservative.
Okay.
8, 9, and 10. Okay, at 10 a.m., now your body can start rebuilding. But if you're not asleep, what's going to happen? You're not rebuilding. You need to get into deep sleep. So can you get to bed quickly at 10 a.m.?
10 p.m.
10 p.m., yeah. Can you?
Well, I can, but that's another problem we haven't talked about, that I have insomnia.
Well, maybe I know why you have insomnia. The workouts that you're doing, by the way, I get it, because when I moved in with my dad and my brother, the fireman, he was the one that told me I needed to do P90X. So I wasn't a morning person. So I would exercise at night, and it kept me up. I was up till 1 a.m. with energy. Why? The energy of working out revved me up. That's why you're having trouble sleeping.
Yeah. And while we're going to go on to continue. Sorry, I want to continue talking this, but we have more people joining the group. So today's topic is the cholesterol and belly fat. And for those of you that can't stay on it, today's Saturday, we are going a little longer than normal. That's okay. You can always come back to the Facebook page, and you can go down just scroll down, and you can catch this entire episode in case you can't stay on today. But thank you so much. We also have Daniel here with us today. So go ahead, Daniel. Sorry about that.
Go ahead, Daniel. Talk to us about your insomnia.
Before I interrupt, I don't want to interrupt you, but I hadn't worked out for a while because I had a shoulder injury, so I took some time off. I'm just starting to, like this on that post, so it didn't work out for about a couple of months, but I still have the insomnia. But we can deal with that at another session if you wish. But
let's
I also
talk
think
about
that
what happened with the shoulder. What happened there?
Well, we're going to have several issues. I'm high pain tolerant, and I can lift something heavy, and I can be hurt, but don't notice until like 3 days later. So that's how I hurt my shoulder. I picked up a dryer, set it off. 3 days later, my shoulder was injured. So I had to take some time off for it to heal.
How long have you been an insomniac? How many years? Decades?
Well, I used to work. I worked graveyard for 10 years. So and I've been doing morning shift for the last 7, but I still have the insomnia.
Okay, so let's go through the basics then. Were you on our podcast on the Wednesday when we talked about the phone and the blue light and removing the blue light from your phone before bed?
Electronics.
I believe so. I believe I saw that one.
Did you put night shift on your phone or get it so that you can have the blue light removal once the sun goes down?
The phone should automatically do it.
No, I think I just put my phone on silent and I turn it upside down, and I don't see it during the night.
No, but I'm talking about going back to my 1, 2, 3 rule. We didn't finish that. So
Okay.
3 hours before bed, no food.
Yeah.
2 hours before bed, no liquids. 1 hour before bed, no blue light from any device. Television, TV, tablets. If you have blue light exposed to your face,
Right. Gotcha.
not just your eyes, melatonin goes packing, meaning melatonin is the sleep hormone that needs to show up in order for you not to have insomnia.
I did try the melatonin, but it didn't work, so I dumped it. I dumped
Wait,
stuff.
do you take melatonin? Is that what you said?
I tried it and it didn't work. It didn't work, so I dumped it.
Good. Your body wants to make its melatonin, but it's not going to make it when you're watching a big TV screen. And most people, by the way, let me ask you, how big is that TV right there? Like what?
Oh gosh, that's going to be like a 60-inch, 65-inch.
Okay. Most people have a 50+ inch screen TV.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us watch TV before we go to bed, but we don't realize the blue light from that TV is going to send melatonin packing. But guess who loves that? The people who sell the melatonin supplements. And melatonin supplements are not bioavailable, and they're usually packed with sugar, especially those of you guys who take them as a gummy. And as a matter of fact, we were with a client who had such good melatonin supplements that they were like candy.
Yes.
But when it comes down to it, you have to prepare yourself for bed. So that means no blue light. As a species, we are supposed to hunt and gather when we get the blue light signal. So right now, because we're here and we want to light our faces, we have a light that has a lot of blue light shining at us. If we were to do this late in the evening, there's no way melatonin would show up to make sleep time happen. It would be, nope, you got to go hunt and gather. So now the second question, your room. Do you have blackout curtains? Do you have any lights blocked that are in your room, like a red light or a green light or blue light?
That's a great one. That's just your TV alone as well usually has a red or blue light if it's on or off. The internet,
Wi-Fi,
all those electronic devices have the little sharp, little beady red lights or blue lights. Oh, I hate those. I literally have to put something over to not see those lights because they literally feel like they're piercing my eyes at night.
Do you have any lights at all in your room?
I don't think so, because I don't really watch TV in my room. I watch it in the living room.
And what time do you stop watching TV?
9, probably 9 o'clock.
Okay, so and then you go to bed at
9 o'clock. I take my dog out, come back in, take a shower, and that's when I start my Bible lesson.
Perfect. So you're reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that you can get reading lamps that don't have blue light? They're going to have a little bit of a yellow tinge to them. But as a matter of fact, I'm going to have Caesar entertain you, and I'm going to come back with a reading light that I use, because in order for me to go to sleep, I have to turn my mind off. So I started reading a book before going to bed. But if I use a regular lamp light, that's going to have blue light, and it's going to send melatonin packing. So even though I'm going to get to sleep, I won't get into deep sleep. So let me bring something. Go ahead and entertain them. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, those lights, they get to piercing, so I have to cover them up, because even in the room, you get that reflection through I have the mirrored closets, right? And so that light just bounces off, and I kid you not, I can't sleep. So I typically once I beautiful pet, but once I get those lights blocked off, I feel like I fall asleep instantly.
What's your dog's name?
Riley.
Riley.
Riley in the house.
Riley, say hello.
Riley.
Hello. Gorgeous. Okay, so here you go. This is a light that I have, and I put it over my neck so I can read in bed, and it has these lights. You see that? And if I click them, you see the difference in colors?
Yeah.
The very first one is going to have a yellow tinge to it because it doesn't have as much blue light. Now, I'm saying this to be clear. There is blue light coming from this, but not as much as it would be from my lamp beside my bed. So this way, I can read with less blue light, because even though some blue light will send melatonin packing, it's not going to send as much melatonin away, or it won't send all of the melatonin away. So I'm just making the odds better for me to sleep at night. Now, what I started doing, that was my splinter skill, to get to the point where what I do now is I click on Audible. And here's what I do. I have to listen to something really boring so I will fall asleep. And because
Right.
I've gone through a lot of years of college and graduate school, what's the first thing that can put me to sleep is listening to a cell biologist talk. So that's what I do. I put an Audible podcast on of a cell biologist. By the way, Dr. Ben Bickman, I love you out there. You're a great cell biologist, but he won't keep me awake. So I just listen to him, set the timer for 15 minutes. I'm asleep within 5, I think. Now, if you need 30 minutes, set the timer for whatever, but listen to something boring, turn your phone upside down, and then you don't have to worry about the blue light thing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could do something of that nature?
Yeah. And the other thing that I didn't mention to you is that I wake up every 3 hours on the dot.
Do you have to
Like
go
I wake
pee?
up at 2:30. No, I wake up at 2:30, look at the clock, go back to sleep. I'm awake at 5. I'm awake at 6:30. So I wake up a lot during the night, but that's another subject for another day, but that's my bad insomnia.
Actually, that's not really insomnia. Here's what's happening. As a species, we are built to wake up at 3 o'clock. And here's why. We're going to go back in time to thousands of years ago when we were sleeping in a cave. At 3 o'clock, we wake up to make sure that there's not a predator around. And if there's not a predator around, then we go back to sleep another 3 hours. That's why you're waking up at 2 or 3. Then you wake up again at 4 or 5 or 6 even. You should consider getting up at 5 or 6 and not going back to bed. And guess why? You should go get your workout done. So that way, when you come home from work, you eat right away and you get ready for bed. That should be your cycle. That will change your life. That will change the muscle that you are able to build. I guarantee you're going to build muscle easier and faster if you work out in the morning and if you eat dinner when you get home from work as soon as possible, so that you have less food in your stomach before falling asleep.
You start down timing, slowing your body down so you can get a nice deep sleep. Dim your lights if you don't have dim lights, dimmers. I know somebody that's installed some good dimmers. But that's important because you're turning down the lights and your body starts setting its clock for you to be able to relax.
As a matter of fact, I do want to mention that once you install dimmers in your home, you'll never go back to not having a dimmer. If anyone is out there who can comment, it's like once you have a dimmer in your home, it's almost like you can't believe you lived without it.
Yeah.
Have you ever had dimmers installed in your home?
No, but we do install ceiling fans with dimmers on it because I'm a maintenance tech. So.
Oh, nice.
Well, why don't you put Lutron dimmers all over your house then?
Oh, and the fluorescent lights, you got to get rid of those too if you have any.
I don't think I do. I think I don't put stuff in my apartment because I do it as a job that I don't want to do it in my own place.
Okay, here's another way to do it. If you have lamps, I don't know if you have ever noticed how it feels when you come into a room and there's lamps and then you can light lamps and turn them down. That helps you to downshift. One of the things that's important is as soon as the sun starts going down, and we have to admit, we're coming into summer soon. We're here and it's mid-April. So we're in springtime. The sun goes down about what, 7:45?
Yeah, 7 o'clock, 7:30. We're like done.
It's almost 8 o'clock now. It's going down.
Yeah, almost 8 o'clock, right? So you can time yourself via what's going on in the world because our bodies are tied to the sun and to the moon. During the summer, we have longer days. I will go to sleep later during the summer, but during the winter, when the sun goes down at 4 o'clock, I could be in bed by 6:30 or 7 p.m. at night. And people say, what? And I go, yep. If you follow Mother Nature, you'll see your life change. And we should all be fortunate that when we get older, we can pick and choose the job hours we want. It's different for young people who are in their 20s just getting a job for the first time. They may have to work graveyard because they're just starting out. But I would recommend those of you listening, if you don't have to work graveyard, you shouldn't, because the money that you're getting paid to work at night is not worth the detriment to your body. Your body will pay the toll.
Agreed.
Do you have any question about that?
No, everything that you tell me makes sense to me. I mean, actually it's logic. It's logic. It makes sense. Going to bed early, getting up early, workouts in the mornings, But I think and I'm not using it as an excuse, but I think that because I don't sleep good at night, in the morning, I don't want to get up. But I get up because I have to go to work.
Right.
Well, here's what's going to happen.
But it makes sense. What you're saying makes perfect sense.
Here's what you can do, and those of you that are listening. I was one of those people who used to pride myself on staying up late. What I love to do is, especially like when I was in college, because I had roommates, I would love staying up late because I could pitter patter around the house without being around my roommates. I felt like I had the whole place to myself, right? But as I got older, I kept doing that, and I would stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning easy. I used to put in my activity level and eat late at night and do all that stuff. And then later on, I found out that my body wasn't responding well to that anymore. So I then became a member of the 5 a.m. club. That means getting up at 5 a.m. naturally. And it was almost as if my body chemistry changed it for me, but that had to happen naturally as I trained my guys, my clients, on how to eat, when to eat, and what to eat. I was living that lifestyle. My body automatically made that switch, and it changed my life incredibly. And for me now to look at myself at 62, going to bed with Mother Nature and waking up with Mother Nature, it's been a game changer. I feel more energetic. I actually feel I look younger. I feel like I even have less wrinkles. And by the way, ladies, if you're listening, collagen is part of what Mother Nature fixes at night between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. It is true what they say about Sleeping Beauty. If you're not sleeping between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., you are going to guaranteed have more arthritic joint problems. You're going to have your hair fall out more. You're going to have...
Take it easy.
You're going to have more wrinkles. You're going to have more irritation and irritability. And I guarantee you're going to have drier skin. If you go to bed at those times, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., and you're in solid sleep during that time, your body knows. It's not stupid. It knows how to rebuild. It knows how to take out the trash. And it knows how to build muscle for a leaner, stronger look. Not to mention also helping to get rid of belly fat. Does that help change your mind possibly about these late workouts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can give it a shot.
Well,
here's what I'd like to do, because I didn't want to go more than an hour. I want to invite you back and see after 1 week how you made that change for your breakfast. But before we do that, I'm sure you don't eat waffles every day. Is that correct?
Every other day or twice a week.
wow.
I'm going to hit you over the head with my pen. Okay. How in the world?
But I do eat cream of wheat, though. That should make you happy.
No, not at all.
We had some great information, so you're gonna be surprised.
Okay, here's
Okay.
what we need to do.
Right.
First of all, you need to eat protein for breakfast. Protein is not in those waffles. Now, those of you who are listening probably are going to tell me about Kojak or Kodiak waffles. Those things are like lead. I've had those. Those are horrible. Here's what I'd rather you do, Daniel. I want you to consider eating eggs. And here's the problem most people have, because we grew up, our generation grew up when eggs were considered the bad guy. Remember, eggs have too much cholesterol. So what were the bodybuilders doing? They were asking for egg white omelets. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Some people still do just
Yes.
egg whites.
And they do egg whites because they believe that the yolk has the cholesterol. Little do they know, it's the cholesterol that builds your muscles, because the cholesterol is needed for the cell wall. And this is what's key. It's also needed for memory, cognitive brain function. Your brain is one of the most biggest uptakes of cholesterol, because that's what we need for this brain to work. So if you were to eat eggs, Now you might be surprised by this, but I'm going to give you my stats. I'm 5'3.5" tall. I weigh 105 pounds. I will eat 4 eggs in the morning.
She eats more than me sometimes.
4 eggs.
Well, I eat three. I eat 3 twice a week.
You could eat 3 every day. Instead of having that protein in that powder, you could eat 3 every day. Or you know what would be even better? Steak. My dad loves steak and eggs. That is one. That was
protein.
That's huge on protein. And you know how you can have steak in the morning? Just make steak on the weekend, but make a bunch of them, put them in the fridge, and have them warmed up with your eggs, and have steak and eggs, and get rid of the protein powders. That is bioavailable protein. And by the way, I will say this: I don't want you eating industrial raised meat.
Ooh, how about speaking of that? How about the eggs? You get specific eggs, not
pasture raised, not industrial chicken eggs. And you know how you know the difference when you crack them open? The egg yolk is a beautiful orange color, like the sun setting or the sun rising, not this fluorescent yellow.
Pasture-Raised isn't just there's so many type of eggs now. There's organic and farm cage free.
Don't waste your money on organic. It's not. It doesn't have to be. It has to be pasture raised.
You guys can send me a picture of that on my messenger, like the different things.
Or actually, let me grab it.
I'll grab it right now.
Okay, he's gonna grab it. So here's the thing: when you're looking at the eggs, don't fall for cage free. Organic is good, but if it's an industrial raised organic egg, it's still not giving you what you need. This is what you need. See that? Pasture raised, meaning the chicken is doing what the chicken normally does, which is
supposed to be there. It is, guys.
Okay, got it.
Picks in the ground and eating bugs and worms and things that are in there. That's where the nutrient density comes from. So if you eat an egg that is industrial, even if it's an organic industrial feed, meaning industrial, they put them all in pens and whatever, you're not going to still get the nutrient density that you need for, remember, it's about muscle building. You want pasture-raised eggs, first and foremost. Eat as many as your body tells you to eat. Now, the reason he may eat less eggs than me is he has more weight on his body. His body's probably saying, nope, we're good, Caesar. We got enough extra weight around the belly. We don't need that. Me, I may not have that extra weight, so my body says, bring it on. So maybe I can eat 4 instead of him. He might eat 3. You need to check in with your body. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do love eggs. I could eat them probably every day, but I don't because of the belief of the cholesterol.
Okay, so let me reiterate that then. Let's do this. Why don't you go into, this is homework for you, and everybody can follow along the journey. Can we invite you back on Saturday and you bring me 2 numbers from your portal? Look inside your medical portal, get me your triglyceride number and your HDL. You give me those 2 numbers, come back next week, and I'll show you what key performance indicator you need to be following to make sure that your cholesterol is not a problem.
Okay.
Fair? Okay, why don't we set that up for today?
Done deal. And with that said, I'd also like to say welcome, guys, for the new people that are on there. Thank you, Rosa Vera, Jennifer Martinez as well. I don't know. I hope you guys don't mind, but I just want to acknowledge you guys are smart. You guys are coming onto our channel because you care about your bodies. And so this is why. Laura as well. Hello there. Ronald Jar, Frank Ferraro out of San Diego, I believe. Tammy and Victor Dominguez. In any event.
One more thing.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind if anyone would start to put questions in, because we're going to have Daniel live because he's been brave enough to come on here and share his numbers, his experience with us. And I want to thank you, Daniel, for being so open, because you're representing a lot of questions other people have. So we're going to keep diving into these questions.
And I didn't show you this.
Extend. Do you want to read the ingredients for us?
Oh my goodness, let me see.
We got time.
Yeah, remember.
As long as we don't lose people, let's
Okay.
go. Let's
Yeah.
keep going.
Okay. Citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, malic acid, acesulfame, potassium, sucralose, silicon dioxide, FD and C blue lake number 1.
Yikes. Okay, sucralose.
Trash.
May I? Well, okay, let me give you the FDA story on sucralose. Sucralose is a sugar that the FDA banned, I'm going to say 6 different times when the company went to the Food and Drug Administration to get it as generally regarded as safe. And the FDA said, nope, 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 6 or 7 times. Well, the sucralose company got smart. They hired the attorney from the Food and Drug Administration to switch sides, meaning that attorney for the Food and Drug Administration went and worked for the company that made sucralose. And guess what happened? The next time they went up against the FDA, that attorney got the sucralose through the FDA. Better lawyer that was on the FDA side, jumped ship to the other side, knew how to get past the FDA. That's why it's allowed in the United States. It is still not allowed in other countries.
Well, the good is that it's not open. I can return it. It's not open.
All right.
By the way, can I ask you how much was that?
$28,
$39?
I think. No, about 20, between 20 and 30, I think.
Okay, so here's typically what those do. They usually sell it to you in a 30-day supply, and they want to keep you on repeat so that you are a repeat buyer of this product for the rest of your life. And my clients typically come in spending not just on one product, because if they have that, they also have some vitamins, they have some supplements, they have some things, powders they put in their water. And it's about $1,200 a month that I have some clients spending.
Oh gosh, we just to go talk about clients and vitamins. We haven't even talked about your vitamins that you must have in those drawers and everything else. But we did Janina does have private clients. I'm just putting it out there, guys. There is no supplements that we sell here. There's nothing. At the end of the day, all we care is about your health, repairing your body from the inside out. Most importantly, and then before we close out, if you have any questions regarding the Janina's private clients, if you want to go one-on-one with her, you can. That is also available. She'll keep you up to date on that.
Just DM Caesar
On the messenger.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just don't kill the messenger. I'm kidding.
Daniel, before we close, let's be clear on next week. You're going to bring the triglyceride number and the HDL number. You'll easily find those in your labs because I know every doctor will run those. We'll run those numbers for you, and we'll tell you what your score means and how it relates, and then we can go in further so that you can be the CEO of your own healthcare. This doesn't mean that you don't need doctors. It just means you help them to help you to get the end result that is the best outcome. And typically for men of your age, what you want to do is have a body that serves you without the need for relying on drugs for the rest of your life and the side effects affected.
Oh, definitely.
By them. Okay.
Wonderful.
Very cool.
Wonderful. And then I'm going to end the session here in a second. I want to just give one last final shout out to Julian Hernandez. I know that he's working very hard on turning his diet around as well. He's been following us through this recording today, and more power to everyone on their journeys. For those of you that are listening to us,
give us a thumbs up if you learned something. Okay.
Like us, give us some love. How about a heart?
Thank
Daniel,
you.
talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Take care. Nice to see you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.